It is, of course, DJ Ash Noble here. Welcome back to another stream. It's been a little bit of some time, hasn't it, since I last did a live stream. I've been away on holiday. That is the whole reason, like, why I've not been live. Because I've been on holiday. I've been quite busy on holiday. But while I was on holiday, a gig got announced, and it's the biggest gig of my DJ career. So among other things, I've been quite excited to get back and do a stream and announce it. So we're going to announce the gig, and then I am also going to talk a little bit about the holiday, where I went on holiday, why I've been inactive, the good points of the holiday, the bad points of the holiday, because for me there was a few bad points of the holiday, unfortunately. But I still had a good time, but I'll explain all a little bit later on. And I want to try and explain that kind of doesn't make me sound like I'm being ungrateful, but I may sound a tad like I'm being ungrateful. I'm not sure. Hopefully I don't come across like that as such, but hopefully you do understand my points as to why I was quite annoyed at some things on the holiday. So, the gig announcement. So, the gig announcement is my biggest gig announcement to date with my DJ career. This is absolutely massive, and I'm pretty stoked that I've been given the opportunity to be on this lineup and to be on this event with all these amazing acts and artists and some absolute legends on the lineup. And the whole thing, I underestimated the whole thing completely, and it kind of blew me away. So we got to fast forward to probably around a month ago, and the Layman, my good friend the Layman, picked me up one evening, and he was talking to somebody on the phone, like through Messenger and voice messages, and I get in the car, and he's like, I've just got us a booking, and he explained that we're going to be doing a Clubland set at the Old School House for the opening of the Street Party, and I was pretty buzzed already at that, because the Street Party is like a massive thing in Hull. It's a big event where they basically close off a street. They build a massive stage on the street. They bring some absolutely amazing acts down in the scene of house music. They've had people like the Shapeshifters, the Freemasons in the past, and they've done some really, really cool things. And then they have like the courtyard of the nightclub open. They have the inside room of the nightclub open, and they normally just have like an absolutely massive day for the street party. However, this time they've gone bigger and better, and they've gone for 3 days. So now it's a whole weekend. And on the Friday night, which is the night I'm playing, they've got a Clubland night. And then on the second night, which is the Saturday night, they've got like a house music, like an IB for house. And they've got legends like Alison Limerick singing live, which is going to be absolutely crazy. They've got all the sort of feel-good sunshine in the tune house tracks that I absolutely love. So I will probably more than likely be going back on the Saturday, because I want to see Alison Limerick sing live. That'd be something for me. Just to go as a little bit of have a few a few cold cokes in the sun, listen to the house music, see a few people, have a good time. And then the Sunday is like a family day, and they've got all like tribute bands, and they've got like tribute bands performing and singing live. And I think I have looked at the lineup for it. I can't remember who's playing, but they've got some like really good sort of like tribute covers of some really good bands and stuff like that, like Oasis and stuff like that, I think, if I remember right, but I could be wrong without completely going back and looking at the flyer. So we turn our attention to Friday. So, like I say, Friday, I got told by Layman that we're going to play this Clubland set. All right, yeah, cool. What's going down? What's going on? That's all I really knew. Then they started releasing little bits of information regarding the event, and then I realised that it was the actual official Clubland brand that was involved in the Friday event, and then I was a little bit like, okay, this kind of changes the perspective of things. This kind of makes me feel a little bit more nervous because, like, wow, this is Clubland. They've released CDs for years. They've had like they worked with all around the world records. They, some of the biggest and best dance tracks were, on them Clubland CDs. So to be kind of like playing for the official Clubland brand was kind of mind blowing. And then we were just kind of waiting for this flyer to come out, and then like everything kind of went quiet on the information to the point where we was actually thinking, are we doing this? Are we not doing this? And then we were kind of starting to doubt that maybe some things had changed and we weren't doing it anymore. And then lo and behold, while I was away, they dropped the flyer, and oh boy, I underestimated this whole thing completely, because even when I knew that the actual Clubland brand was going to be involved, when I realised that they were going to, sort of be involved in doing the Friday, I still didn't think it was going to be as big as it was. I thought, somebody like Ultra Beat would be headlining, then there'd be a few warm-up DJs, people like, sort of to warm up for him, and, people to play, and then there might be maybe like a second room or something, and that'd probably be about it. No, little was I completely blown away, and I underestimated how big this thing was. So there's not one, there's not two, but there is 3 arenas at this massive event. So you've got the main stage, which is the main Clubland stage. You've got the bounce room, which is like, I guess, a bounce room. And then you've got a VIP courtyard, which is the one I'm going to be playing in. So I'm going to be playing outside in the sunshine, which is really exciting for me, in the courtyard, in the VIP courtyard. So I'm looking forward to that. But the main arena blew me away. So the main headliner for the main arena, there's loads of headliners, but the one that's like right at the top of the poster is, you've got none other than the legend Fragma, that is known for singing Toko's Miracle, absolutely massive tune. She also sang another track called Every Time You Need Me. Absolutely crazy. She's singing live. That's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. Then we've got Ultra Beat. So Ultra Beat, obviously Pretty Green Eyes, Feeling Fine, Show Feels Good. They did a range of tracks. Disco Lights, I Want to Touch You. They did tracks with like Darren Styles. They've done tracks with Flip and Phil. We've got Flip and Phil also on the lineup, so they're obviously known for tracks like Disco Land and Shooting Star. They did some absolute corker tracks back in the day for Clubland, and they also did like I Want to Dance with Somebody and stuff like that, which is really, really just absolutely mind-blowing. We've got Sweet Female Attitude, so they're also singing live, which is absolutely crazy. They're obviously known for doing Flowers in the Rain. I'll Bring You Flowers in the Pouring Rain. That's absolutely mind-blowing, that they're going to be singing as well, and they're going to be coming live and performing their track. And I'll imagine they'll be doing some other bits of tracks as well. I mean, I don't know how long the PAs are obviously going to be performing for. I just know that obviously they are going to be there doing some of their magic, if you like. And it's absolutely mind-blowing. So I'm just going to pull up the flyer now, so I can read off some more of the names, because this is a big deal. This is not something for the faint-hearted. This is something not so small. It's actually on like quite a big scale. So I'm having a look just now to pick up the flyer. Yeah. So we've got Kelly Lorena also singing live. So she obviously sang for the likes of Flip and Phil. She sang things like Set You Free. She sang things like True Love Never Dies. She did a cover of the classic Force and Styles Heart of Gold, which is absolutely crazy. Then we've got Ian Van Dal, Mr. Castles in the Sky, international superstar DJ. Castles in the Sky, again, give me a reason. He also did as well. He also did Tell Me Why. And, so many legends and this is just the main, arena, which is the stage, the big stage on the street. So that's just that room in total. Then you've got Keys and Finchy hosting, so they're going to host on stage on the mic. Then you've got Logic Lloyd, a friend of mine, Kirk Lloyd, who puts on the Gathering Festival in Cleethorpes. And then we've got FaZe, who is somebody local from Hull. He does a lot of warming up for Clubland and stuff, and he plays a lot of the Clublands, especially when Clubland's in the area, like, the Gathering Fest have a Clubland tent. He normally plays in the Clubland tent. Sometimes I think if Clubland are in places like Leeds and stuff, sometimes he will also do the warm-up sets there as well. And he used to play when they used to come to Tower nightclub in Hull. So really, really strong first room, really, first lineup. Then at the bounce room, you've got none other than Club Filler. Legend Club Filler from the bounce and hardcore scene, mainly the hardcore scene. I would imagine that he will probably play like a bounce set into a hardcore set, but I wouldn't like to say. I don't know. I don't know as such when he's going to be playing as such. All I kind of really know is that he will be playing. I don't know what sort of set he'll be playing, but I'm looking forward to seeing him play. I've seen him play a few times, but he's in the bounce room, so I'm quite intrigued to see like how he's going to go through the set, if he is going to kind of go like from bounce into hardcore. We've got 8 Ball, Healy, Animac, The Jester, Kenny, and DJ Butcher. So we've got some locals from Hull. We've got some people from just outside of Hull that are also kind of like supporting the Club Filler, which is really good. And then finally, we've actually got the VIP courtyard. So we've got myself and the Layman. We've got Exempt, we've got Vivace, we've got The Jester, we've got Leroy, and we've got Poundy. So we've got some locals from Hull. We've got some people from just outside of Hull that have kind of come together to play a set, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm really, really looking forward to that. And it's just going to be a good day. It starts at 4 in the afternoon. It goes right the way through till 11 o'clock at night. So it is like a proper, almost like a festival type thing, and I'm looking forward to playing outside. And myself and the Layman, we've got some tricks up our sleeves now. I can't say too much about it, but we are working on some music that we're going to play exclusively at this event, and we're working on some really, really strong music at the moment, actually, and some really good music, might I add, as well. And one to keep an eye out for is going to be the final track of our set, because we're going to do something quite special on the final track of our set. We're gonna, we've been planning this for a long time, and not necessarily just for this gig. Like, we've made this tune, we're still working on this tune, but we've done something within this tune that kind of makes it like really special if you play it at the end of a set. And we've got something really, really clever up our sleeves that hopefully will just end what will have been a really good set. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes down. We get a few in the courtyard, and we're just having a really, really good time. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, and we're going to absolutely blaze it. So I'm really looking forward to it. But we've got some new music for it. I can't say too much about it yet. I'm probably going to make a few more bits myself for it. I'll work on some edits, and I'll probably get sort of cooking away on some bits to bring off a really, really good vibe for the set. What type of set are we playing? We are going to play like a Clubland set. We're going to play like, probably the only best way to describe it is it's probably going to be quite cheesy. There's going to be some good drops in there, but there's going to be some really good sing-along moments, and it's going to be one of them where like the layman will be getting everybody to come together. Let's sing this one together, and it'll give off that really, really good vibe, that we're going to sing this one together, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait for it. So with that being said, I'm super buzzed, and to be booked for the official Clubland brand, you know, like I went through that stage of, you know, buying the CDs. I went through the stage of listening to Clubland TV when it was on telly, and you can still listen to that now. It actually kind of makes me want to put it on. That's kind of how mad it is. But yeah, it's just an absolutely crazy feeling that this is, you know, yeah, it's just absolutely fantastic. So with that being said, I'm super looking forward to it. So I don't know what time I'm playing yet. Obviously, it's not till the 1st of August. So it's a little bit early in the day to be able to say like when I'm playing and stuff like that, what time it'll be. I'm hoping that it'll be at kind of like a nice time where there's quite a few people here by then. You know, I'm hoping, like I say, we'll be playing quite a good time, and that we won't, you know, because I think, you know, we've got myself and Layman, so Layman's hosting me, and then obviously, like, you know, when somebody's hosting, it needs to be a little bit more main, because like there isn't anybody else hosting any of the other DJs, if that makes sense, in that VIP courtyard. So it needs to be kind of at a time where everybody is coming together, you know, and it's going to be quite a cool little experience. So that is the event. So where have I been? Why have I been a little bit inactive? Now, I've got to pop out soon, so I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible. But basically, I went on holiday to Northern Ireland to watch the Northwest 200 motorbikes. So about a year ago, my dad booked to go with a couple of his friends, and my sister was going to go. They was going to go on motorbikes, and then as it got a little bit sort of nearer the time, my sister decided that for her age it was a little bit too far to travel on motorbikes, which it was. You know, I'll tell you now, the journey was a killer. We travelled like near 5 hours on a motorbike to go and get, you know, to go and get the boat basically and go over to Ireland, and it was a killer. You know, when you sat on a sports bike for that long, your legs really start to ache. So we went over to watch the Northwest. Amazing experience. You know, if you want to go and watch the motorbike racing, you know, go to the Isle of Man, go to the Northwest, go to the road racing circuits, because they're so good. There's something about them compared to, like, you know, going to short circuits like Cadwell Park and Alton Park. Like, you know, short circuits are good, but there's just something more exciting about watching the road racing. And it was really good. The weather, as you can see, I've gone a bit brown. The weather was absolutely outstanding. I've never known weather to be so good for me. Like, I was burning my ears and my nose. They got sunburn, and they still feel a little bit like, my ears feel a little bit like the skin's peeling, like where they've got that, where they've been burnt that much. And the sun was absolutely fantastic. Now, the racing was really good. We watched at loads of different places, which gave us a really good vibe and a different point of view of the circuit. We saw them where they're absolutely going flat out, and then we saw them where they're going a little bit slower, and then we watched from the main grandstand at the paddock. It was really, really good. Now, what I didn't like about the holiday is it didn't feel totally like a holiday for me. So we went with, my dad went with a friend of his, and he brought his girlfriend. And let me tell you this, like, it wasn't really what I would call a holiday. So we went on holiday, and we rented out a cottage, which was just in the countryside. And basically, we ate at the cottage every night. we did a weekly shop for the cottage, which, all right, fair enough, you know, yeah, all right, get a few bits in, but we did a £70 weekly shop, and basically, like, we didn't go to any restaurants, we didn't really have any meals out, we didn't really do anything on a night. So, like, we watched the racing during the day, we did whatever during the day, then sort of by about 5 o'clock at night, we were back at the cottage, we were having something to eat, and then we weren't going anywhere and doing anything. Now, to me, personally, when you go on holiday, like, you go on holiday to do things, you go on holiday to explore and do things, and you go on holiday, like, to eat meals out, like, you know, you go to a couple of restaurants. I'm not saying you eat out every night, but you go to a couple of restaurants, you sit somewhere nice, you know, you're away. If you want to cook every night, you stay at home, you know, you cook at home, you eat food at home, you cook at home, and I got a little bit annoyed because, like, I just kind of felt like we'd come on holiday, and it felt like we weren't really doing anything, like, on a night. Like, it would have been nice to have gone to a couple of Irish bars. It would have been nice to have, you know, like, there was loads of things happening, like, there was live bands on and stuff, and it would have been good to have gone and, like, caught some music stuff. But basically, like, we were in a cottage, sort of, like, that was kind of like it was kind of in the middle of nowhere. It was a couple of miles away from, like, a little town called Bushmills, really nice town. But for somebody like me who doesn't drive, and I'd obviously gone on the back of a motorbike, like, you know, for me, like, because we weren't in a town as such, I couldn't just go out and go and walk somewhere and, like, go and do something for myself because we were kind of in the middle of nowhere. I could have worked out, like, buses and things, but then they were wanting to go to bed at, like, 9 o'clock, and they were wanting to get up at, like, 5:30 and go on a walk. Now, I like walks, you know, like, I if I need to walk, I'll walk. Like, I walk to work, I walk back from work. I don't live all that far from work, but I walk it. I walk into town. Sometimes if I'm going, like, right up Hanleby Road, I don't always get a bus, I walk it. Sometimes, like, I've even walked to Layman's house before, like, you know, like, it's quite a fair distance, and, like, normally, you know, you should get a bus to it, really. But sometimes when traffic's just manic, like, it is sometimes quicker to walk it. So, like, I do like my walking, but there's walking and there's walking. I'm not somebody who, like, likes walking that much that I'd get up at 5:30 in the morning to go on a morning walk. Oh, 2 seconds. Hello? Yes, 2 secs. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut this short because they're ready for the chicken shop. So basically, what I was saying is like, I just, like, with the holiday, I wish we'd have done more. Like, I wish, like, you know, like, maybe, like, 2 of the nights we'd have, like, gone and had a meal somewhere, or, like, gone to a cafe. I wish we'd have, like, just gone to a bar somewhere and had a couple of drinks and, you know, just got among some atmosphere rather than being, like, sat there every night. You know, like, and I just kind of felt a little bit like we did a lot of you know, like, just kind of sat at the cottage. You know, we got up early, we did what we were doing during the day, and then we kind of you know, apart from that, we kind of didn't really do anything. Like, on a night, we were just sat at the cottage, and for me, like, I didn't have a TV in my bedroom, so I was a little bit kind of stuck in terms of, like, there was nothing, like, really that I could do, like, because they were watching the telly, so I couldn't really watch anything I wanted to do. So I ended up more or less just, like, you know, browsing on my phone and stuff, and it was all right. But, you know, for somebody who, like, is nearly, like, you know, late 20s, somebody who's still very much young, who wants to, like, go out, explore and do things, it was definitely, for me, it was definitely a little bit of a, like, I just wish we'd have done a little bit more in that sense. But apart from that, like, I still had a really good time, like, watching the bikes and stuff. So with that being said, massive gig announcement. Like, comment, share. Looking forward to it. We'll see you soon.